another video, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. So what we're going to be doing today is a pre-election night for an election night I will be posting soon. This election night has been delayed a little bit for many different reasons. So this is going to be an election night of 2024. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley as a Republican nominee against Vice President Kamala Harris. This was a subscriber suggested video. So this is a JJ Holmes. Shout out to you for suggesting this video. So I'm gonna go through the races, gonna categorize, and gonna give reasoning, and then you guys are gonna see this in the election night that will be up soon. So yeah. So your safe states will be the same. At this point, states like Virginia would become safe for the Democratic Party. From here all the way to then, I think Nikki Haley is a very inspirational candidate for many people. But again, she's going to have trouble winning in some places more than others. Kamala Harris will also have to fight a very big disadvantage when it comes to a lot of the Democratic Rust Belt state, which is where they get a lot of their vote, is losing votes. And ultimately, where do you see gains? States like North Carolina, states like Texas, Florida, Arizona, states like Montana. All these votes are ending up in Republican states. Don't get me wrong. There might be places where Democrats might be gaining something. But again, it's not super, super big and possible, I guess. So going with our safe Republican states in this scenario. So I think by the time we get to 2024, a state like South Carolina would become, if it was a candidate that was not Nikki Haley, it would become in the lean column, in the likely column, so sort of where state like Texas was in 2016. But with Nikki Haley being the candidate, I think we can easily say that she would win her home state, and by a big margin. She was a popular governor in that state, and many different things that people should be considering. So at this point, this would be our map to start with. And yeah, we're going to I missed some states here. I think that's it. Yeah. So we're going to go through and fill in each of the states. Nikki Haley's going to have a big advantage in a lot of these places compared to Kamala Harris. She's from the Sun Belt, and that might actually impulse her to win certain places by bigger margins. Kamala Harris is from California, and she has very big African American support. But Nikki Haley, she can bring out the suburban bases. She can bring out the Republican bases. And honestly, states like Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina would be kind of a thing for Nikki Haley at this point, because Nikki Haley is from that area, from this general area. And you're going to have your states that are currently like that also go to Nikki Haley. So with these states like Texas, going to get a little bit closer, probably going to be 5 points. Iowa's probably going to be like 6 or 7 points. Ohio's probably going to be by 6 or 7 points. North Carolina might even be by 6 or 7 points, which is pretty big for a state of North Carolina. Georgia by 5 or 6 points, and Florida by 5 or 6 points. So we can see a big trend. Where does Nikki Haley do well? Where does she do strongly? Well, in this area down here. Now, VPs are going to be factored in as well. So who do I think the VP for Nikki Haley will be? I think Marco Rubio will be the VP for Nikki Haley if she runs for president, which I'm pretty sure she will. Marco Rubio is a very inspirational figure for many, and I think that's what the Republican Party needs. They need a minority leader, I guess. Not a minority leader like in the Senate or the House. They need a minority leader who gets out the minority vote. Marco Rubio is one of the very few Republicans in the United States who are members of minority things. So yeah, so we're gonna have these states. So we already see the election is super close already. Where does Harris make up all of this? States like Colorado will be in the likely column, but we cannot be saying the same thing about the state of Nevada. The state of Nevada will become a lot closer than people may think, and ultimately it's going to be up to the voters in that state. The state of New Hampshire, there's gonna be really no doubt. Nikki Haley could have a bit of more impulse in the city of New Hampshire. Ultimately, I think Kamala Harris will be able to win over the voters in the state of New Hampshire. When it comes to these states, so these districts right here, I'm going to say that those districts will end up going for Nikki Haley. Why? Well, very conservative. Kamala Harris is not the Bernie Sanders that they like in Nebraska, and Ambassador Haley is pretty much what they want. She's conservative but yet liberal. She has many conservative views, but she's more liberal than someone like Donald Trump, which again I think that would resonate with a lot of the voters in areas like the Midwest and even the Sun Belt, which again is going to be a focus point of the elections that are to come. At this point, states like my bad, states like Minnesota, not Wisconsin, I haven't gone there yet. Wisconsin and Minnesota and Michigan, I think at this point will be a little bit more solider for the Democrats. But still, you guys must consider that the state of Michigan, it went for the Republican Party, and I think they would be in the limbo stage, the Rust Belt in general, in the limbo stage for a couple years until it goes back to being, or fully becomes a full Republican state, which I guess is, I doubt of, although it can happen, or whether it goes back to its original state Democratic status. So Kamala Harris is currently at 238, whereas we see Nikki Haley at 253. What is deciding this election? Well, these two states and these two states. Those are going to be the closest states in 2024. If Nikki Haley runs with Marco Rubio and Kamala Harris runs with someone like, I don't know, a Beto O'Rourke, I think Kamala Harris would be a good team with Beto O'Rourke because he's a very big campaigner, and I think he's a little bit more conservative side in the state of Texas. Because again, you guys must consider that there's a political spectrum. And in that political spectrum, you either have a fully crazy radical Democrat, you have a liberal Democrat that's a little bit less radical, then you have conservative Democrats, which are kind of the same thing as a liberal Republican, and it goes like that. So that way, I think Beto O'Rourke would be a good candidate for the running mate for Kamala Harris. When it comes to states like Wisconsin, I think at this point, Nikki Haley will probably win the state of Wisconsin, along with the state of Arizona. This gives her the election already, but I think ultimately she is a very popular candidate with a lot of people. And honestly, I think when she gets a name recognition, she's going to be well known, and people will like her because she's not too radical. She's more moderate than people may think. And honestly, if I were to vote in this election, I would have a hard time picking because I don't really like going with one party or another. I think when making an analysis, it's very important to be impartial, because if your favorite are being biased, then the results that you're looking for will not be credible because they're biased. And that's what we're seeing with a lot of these political YouTubers with extreme biases. So I think that's an important thing to see. And yeah, my work is not biased. I try to make it not biased, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't want to say, like, I don't want to create a huge blow up in the comments, but there you go. So I think in the state of Pennsylvania, Kamala Harris will narrowly win the state of Pennsylvania, mostly because of the Philadelphia area, and then I think she has some working class voters under her belt, but I don't think she has all the charisma to make it go in huge margins, sort of like the state of Colorado or maybe the states of Michigan and Minnesota. When it comes to the state of Nevada, though, I honestly could see the state of Nevada going to Nikki Haley. At this point, Marco Rubio, if he is considered for the VP spot, he's gonna resonate with a lot of the voters in the state of Nevada. Which again, state of Nevada, first of all, it was growing a lot more Democratic, but again, a lot of the Democratic voters have moved out and gone to other states like California, or even states like Utah. Why? Well, because the state of Nevada, people are moving out because of this pandemic. And also, it's going to be impactful. So in this scenario, I was thinking that Kamala Harris would have been Joe Biden's VP. In addition to she being VP, well, all the things that have to be factored at that point. Another thing that would be really interesting is that if Nikki Haley runs with Donald Trump in this ticket. What do I mean by that? Well, if Donald Trump kicks off Mike Pence, again, all of this is very, very unlikely. Could happen. There was some rumors swirling around, and again, I think that would look bad for the Trump campaign throwing out his VP mid presidency. So yeah, I want to thank all of you for watching, and remember, if we reach 250 subscribers, I will do a giveaway, whether it be tomorrow that we reach 250 subscribers, in a week, in a month, or something like that. I will do the giveaway, and you guys have my word on that. So again, I want to thank all of you for watching, and goodbye.